How's it going, everybody? Of course, it's me, Zach, and today we're going to be doing a review of the Flowtoy Vision Club by Flowtoys. Now, just a bit of a disclaimer, I am in no way endorsed or sponsored by Flowtoys, so everything in this review is coming straight from my mind. I bought these clubs with my own money, so just going to give them unbiased, honest review. Let's get into it. And somewhere near the end of the video, I'm going to talk about this little device, which allows you to sync all your clips together on an app and create your own unique light show. And it is in beta, but I figured it's relevant. I'll talk about it, and it really does add a lot of value to the club if you know how to use it. So let's talk about the club first. So this one in particular, I had to request it because it's not on the website, but they do make a dolphin model. Normally it's made as a pirouette. A few of the things I say in this review might be more geared towards this model. I think they just started recently making these more clear knobs on the other clubs, but I guess they don't work on this club, so of course I got a dolphin knob. I'm not complaining, I like dolphins, and I think a dolphin is the way to go. But they have this nice silicone top. Let me see if I can get it off. If you're one of those fellows with no nails, it's a bit of a pain to get off, but as you can see, once it's on there, it does not come off. We have this nice little silicone-based little thing, and it has a button you push in, and if you look on the inside, you can see a little bit of the 3D printed material, but it's not exposed or anything. And you see the USB, and there's a tiny button which allows you to turn on and off the club. And if you hold it down, it turns back off. Very cool stuff. You can get back on. Usually that takes quite a bit of force. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or not. That's typical. So it's stretchable. It pushes down the little button. Cool stuff. On the website, I believe these go for $190 US. I think there's also packs you can buy them in. I think I just bought all the clubs individually, and I mainly wanted to do that so when I went in the special request area, I could mention, oh hey, make me the dolphin version, and there wouldn't be any confusion or anything, I guess. You know, honestly, if the clubs work well, I don't mind if it's a pirouette. This is just the kind of club I always use, so it's really nice to have the option of using a club like this. But before we go any further, I figured I would show a little bit of the unboxing of this prop and some of the stuff that came with it. So let's segue over to that. So I got the package. The box says cultivate good habits. I didn't think this was going to come in until later in the day, so I just woke up, saw that it arrived, and immediately went downstairs to get it. I didn't bring scissors. Okay. Wow. Okay, we got some extra stuff. What? We got a bag thing? I don't know if this is extra or not. We got another bag. We got the clubs? Holy cow. Okay, so these are dolphins. I don't know if you can see, but yes, they are dolphins. So yeah, the cap is some sort of silicone thing. I know in the older versions it was more like a 3D printed material, so this looks pretty cool. And I guess it's just a Henry's knob. If I push the button, does anything happen? Whoa! I've always wanted to buy glow clubs. This is super exciting. Very bright. First opinions on that. So I ordered 5. I'll just set those to the side for now because it seems like there's other stuff. The bridge. Okay. So this is the thing that made me buy the clubs in the first place. So I wanted to try this out. It allows you to control it with your phone. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. So it is a prototype, very prototypey actually, more so than I thought. Because if you look at this, like I'm scared to touch it almost. And the last thing it came with was the cords to charge the Vision clubs, I guess. So we have the charging cables, and then we have a 6-port USB home charger. They literally just give you a charging block. Happy flowing! Wishing you all of the magical moments with your Flowtoys. Enjoy the free hookups. So they did send me stuff that wasn't part of the deal. So that's interesting. I saw the bag and I was like, what is this? I definitely don't think I bought the bag, but go off, I guess. Ah! Very exciting. Very excited. I'm really excited that they're dolphins. Like, holy cow, that's cool. Now that I've used this club for maybe a month, I figured I would talk about some of the pros that I've seen of it. I did a few gigs with this. I did a gig for Nissan. I was told that they specifically pointed out that they really liked the juggling clubs. So if you do gig work, I really do believe that if you buy these, they are worth the money. You get what you pay for. They look great. I was a little concerned about battery life, but I did a gig for 2 hours straight with these, and I don't think any of them died on me. And they seem to hold up pretty well. Am I a little scared of breaking them? Yes, but that's also because I've never bought glow clubs before. But they also have something I believe is called a lifetime warranty. As long as it's the fault of the club, you can send it back and get a return policy where they'll fix it and then send it back to you. I'm not exactly sure how that works, so don't quote me on that. But in terms of durability, I'm obviously not trying to drop it. But this is the first LED club I've ever used that feels like it's a club. It doesn't feel like it's weighed down by all these electronics on the inside. Like, nothing against Aerotex and all those other clubs, they were great for the time. But this is really just a step forward, because really it just feels like a slightly heavier Delphin. I know there's some people out there who really just practice with these clubs. I don't know how you do that. That seems kind of scary to me. Maybe it's not, I don't know. I've only had these for a month, so I don't know like if these kind of things break on people. I've never heard of anything like that. In my experience from my friends, they seem to hold up pretty well. And some people really put these through the ringer. You juggle them outside on concrete. I guess they can take a hit. I'd say in my experience, it took about 3 hours for all the clubs to go fully green in charging mode. Obviously, you don't have to charge them all the way. I don't know, I figured why not. Yeah, there's a couple of other settings in these clubs which is really nice. So if you have multiple clubs, you can group them together. So for example, if you group this club with maybe 2 other clubs, when you put in this setting on one club, it'll all be breathing the same way together. So this part of the yellow is moving right here in the club for all 3 of the clubs. They're speaking to each other and communicating in a way. Speaking of settings, there's maybe, it looked like 40 different patterns or settings you can do. Another thing that I think is important to mention with these clubs is they actually have a built-in speedometer or some sort of tech which allows them to notice motion. And this is more apparent on certain settings than others, but you can see whenever I have it still, then it's normal. Whenever I flip it back and forth, it starts to strobe. And each setting is a little bit different. I don't think that one has it as much, but oh, that one really has it. So it goes still, it's pretty solid, and then it just goes nuts when you flip it. When you get involved in the app, or there is a remote control where you can control all the things, I did not buy that, but I know there is that. There's a lot more other settings you can do. And overall, banging club. Really sick club. For my first LED club purchase, I am a very happy person. I'd love to try out some of these other Flowtoy props eventually. They all look really sick. This is an investment that is definitely worth making for yourself if you are a performer. Also, if you just like technology, it's really cool to just have in your hand. You can tell that a lot of effort went into this, and I remember back in 2017, somebody was showing off, I want to say like a prototype at the time of this club. Really, really cool to see how far they've come with it, and it seems like they want to improve on issues and make things easier, etc., etc. The only thing I really have to say that's kind of annoying is taking this cap off is super difficult for me, but I also have like weird issues with like very fine motor skills. As a juggler, I can do a lot of things that are like big motions, but little tiny motions, my hands get kind of shaky, and it's very difficult for me to grab to get my hands on this part of the cap. if that's the only thing I really have to complain about, I'd say this is a pretty slam dunk club. And I also want to say, if any of you have experience with these clubs and want to talk about it maybe in the comments below, say what your experiences are, I'd love to see what other people think of them. This is a really great club. It's fun. It makes me feel excited to juggle it, you know? I wish there was something like this for ring juggling, honestly. Clubs are awesome, but they really aren't the main prop that I use. Maybe they will be now. Maybe now that I have these clubs, maybe I'll mess around with clubs more. I don't know. But honestly, 10 out of 10, super fun to use, and can't wait to see what Flowtoys does in the future. Sponsor me. Sponsor me, Flowtoys, please. Let's talk a little bit about other kinds of prototypes. So as you can see here, we have this bad boy, very prototypey looking, and what you're looking at right now is actually the Flowtoys USB bridge. And you're probably asking, what is that? Why do I care? Well, you should actually care quite a bit, because if you're going to buy these clubs, you really need to consider the idea of looking into this. And I want to say another disclaimer really quick. It's a beta thing. Of course there's going to be issues with it. You can't complain about issues in a beta. You can, you're supposed to. Like, it helps with the beta process. But if you're sinking so much money into these clubs, you might as well spend an extra $50 on this bad boy. Let me show you why. Alright, so here we have the app. And the only reason that you can connect the app to the clubs is because of the USB. So the USB is plugged in over there, and it is the bridge. And the reason it's called the bridge is because it converts the Bluetooth from a phone into a transmittable signal that reaches the clubs. And it's really, really cool because you actually look at the software here, and it looks like video editing software almost, which I'm very familiar with. I'm sure it has its own rules and everything, but as you can see, there's 5 different groups, 5 different clubs here, and I've assigned groups to each of the 5 clubs so they behave uniquely and individually, and I believe you can do that with up to 5 groups. So as you can see, I made a routine with this song. It goes to the music because I programmed it to do so, and you can even see that it's doing a nice little breathing effect, like it's losing its brightness and then it's coming back up, which is another thing which makes this app really, really cool, is that you can actually go into a setting wheel right here, which allows you to change the brightness value and set it on an animation cycle, which is what it's doing right now. If you're clever enough with the way that the program works, and sure, like I said multiple times, it's a beta. You have to mess with it a lot to get it to do what you want, but once you figure it out, it actually makes quite a bit of sense. And for software for jugglers, you never get this kind of stuff. This is really special. But yeah, you can get it to go with the music. And I actually recently posted on my Patreon a 55-minute show, and in that show, within a day of getting these clubs in the USB, I put together a routine and I put it in that show. So if you go and watch that show, I'll show maybe a clip of it here. I do a lot of things where the clubs light up to the music, and even when I'm juggling maybe 3 clubs, there's 2 individual clubs on the ground that still play a part because you can make them light up in their own way. Because sure, it's in beta now, and sure, it's maybe a little bit glitchy now, but if it's this good in beta, then I can't wait to see whatever it's gonna look like whenever it's fully ready to go, because they really knocked it out of the park with this thing. I'm pretty sure you can do this with other glow props as well that they sell. I think if anything has the vision subset within it, then it uses the same LED program, and basically you can run this program through clubs, balls, I'm assuming poi, maybe a staff, like a contact staff, who knows. So basically you're not really only limited to clubs here. You could do a lot of different things with it. So I'll just say this: if you're planning on getting these clubs, definitely think about spending the extra $50 and trying and getting the 2 different types of bridges they have. Just try and get one of them and just mess around with it, honestly. It's a blast to learn, and it's really fun. It's really cool. Even as a non-juggler, you can appreciate that it's just a cool piece of tech. So if you have anything you want to say about the Vision Club, any concerns, any issues, do you like this club? Do you hate it? Please put in the comments down below and I'll be sure to check it out. The same way I think Cathedral Juggling is making the standard juggling ring, like that should be the standard of a juggling ring, this should be the standard of a glow club. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of what I do, feel free to subscribe. If you want to see that full routine with the Glow Club, see more of what they do, you can check out my Patreon. There's a full clip there. There's also a promo from that show, which was posted earlier on YouTube. You can check that as well. You can see maybe a couple clips there. But with all that out of the way, I'll see y'all next week for whatever we're doing next.